Welcome to Manna at the Tap, a podcast from Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we call the daily Bible reading our spiritual manna. It nourishes our souls, fostering spiritual growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. Today is Monday, June the 23rd, 2025, the second week after Pentecost in the season of ordinary time. This is the season to live an extraordinary, disciplined life as you experience spiritual growth. The lectionary reading is from the opening chapter of the New Testament book of 1 Corinthians, authored by the Apostle Paul. In it, he discusses unity and its importance in this diverse community residing in Corinth, a modern day city in south central Greece, about 80 kilometers west of Athens. There were misunderstandings about his words, and division was plaguing the community. He wanted them to stop arguing about who they were following. Some said they followed Paul. Another, I follow Apollos. Apollos was a very eloquent speaker, by the way. Still others said they followed Peter, one of the 12 original disciples of Jesus. And still a few said they followed Christ. Paul said this was causing arguments and quarrels in the community, and he was grateful that he had only baptized a few of the people in the community. He told them he was called to preach the gospel, not with human wisdom or eloquence, but with the power and wisdom of God. Paul linked loyalty to the various teachers to being foolish, leading to pride in one's ability. The lectionary reading begins at verse 18 and ends at verse 31. The heading states that Christ crucified is God's power and wisdom. You see, human wisdom and earthly power lead to weakness and foolishness and will eventually lead to death. This is not a punishment from God, but it is because human wisdom and earthly power blind us, so we do not see God's wisdom, his goodness, and the power of the cross. When it comes to the kingdom of God, and one is looking for a sign of the kingdom of God, one will be disappointed because that is not how God chose to save the world. God chose only one way to save the world, through what might seem foolish to human wisdom. He chose the message of the cross because it is God's power. Paul reminded the community that they were not of noble birth or influential. They were not considered wise by human standards when they were called into their relationship with God. But God, nevertheless, chose them, giving them gifts so that no one could boast. If any of them wanted to boast, Paul suggested they could boast about the steadfast and unfailing love of the Lord.
Oh,
They could boast about God's justice and God's goodness because God is the source of life. God's foolishness is wiser than the wisdom of humans. God's weakness is stronger than human strength, and Christ is the power and wisdom of God.